Following Jesus isn't always easy, but it's not complicated. This is Simple Faith in 5. Each weekday, we take the teachings of Jesus combined with a spiritual discipline and grow our faith in 5-minute increments. Click subscribe to make sure you don't miss a one. And as always, like and rate the podcast. It really helps us get the word out. Let's talk about how belonging changes behavior. When people know they're not alone, they're more willing to grow, more willing to risk, more willing to stay. What begins to happen is when you find a group of people and you feel like you belong, it changes your behavior. In fact, we often say around here, you can belong before you become. Well, you can belong around here before you believe. We just want you to be a part of things. The book of Acts tells us that the early believers devoted themselves to teaching and to fellowship and to breaking bread and to prayer. These weren't random habits. They were formative practices. Historically, these gatherings happened in homes. No stages, no sound systems, no smoke and lights, just people sharing meals, scripture, and prayer. And community wasn't something they attended. It was something they lived. And the church didn't grow through attraction. It grew through devotion. When you read about these people, they didn't always have everything in common. They came from various places. Most of them had rolled into that particular part of Jerusalem for the Pentecost feast and the celebration. Then they were ambushed by the grace of Jesus after Peter's message, and they just stayed. They stayed and they lived with other people around there, and they sold possessions in order to take care of each other's needs. And community was formed even though they didn't all think, look, and act the same. So we're practicing the spiritual discipline of community. I want you to commit today to showing up consistently. What is that one area of your life where other people are that you know if you went through it, you'd be better off for it, but you just don't want to go? Maybe it's going to church on Sunday. You prefer just to sit at home in your PJs with a cup of coffee. Well, that's fine, but it's not community. Maybe it's a small group, actually going back and having a conversation with the people you swore you'd never talk to again. Maybe it's a relationship where you have drifted away or stayed away or just stopped texting back. Maybe it's just being around some people that you can pray together. What I've discovered is presence shapes faith more than intention. In other words, don't just sit around saying, one day we will, or maybe next fall, or maybe when they offer it again, or we really need to, or we really should. Let's don't should on each other. Let's actually do it. Well, thanks for joining us today. Pass this along to a friend, and we will see you next time. And as always, keep it simple.